The Snake Girl and the Men of the Village. Long ago, in the ancient village of Nsuochi, nestled deep within the vast and mystical Adamma forest, there was a girl whose beauty was beyond compare. Her name was Adamma. She had skin as smooth as the finest silk, eyes that sparkled like the stars in the night sky, and a smile that could melt even the coldest of hearts. Men from far and wide were drawn to her, unable to resist her enchanting charm. But there was a dark secret about Adamma that no one in the village knew. She was not an ordinary girl. Beneath her flawless exterior, Adamma was a snake, a creature of the night, cursed to take human form and live among people. She was placed under this curse by the gods, punished for the sins of her ancestors who had used dark magic to gain power. By day, Adamma lived like any other village girl, performing her chores, laughing with the other women, and blending in with the community. But by night, her true form was revealed. She would shed her human skin, and her snake form would emerge. In this form, she was driven by a hunger that could only be satisfied by luring men into her lair and consuming their life force. The men of Nsuochi were helpless against her beauty. One by one, they visited her, enticed by her smiles and promises of love. They would enter her hut at night, and by morning, they were gone. Their bodies would be found days later, lifeless and drained, as though the very essence of their being had been sucked out. The villagers were perplexed and frightened. They couldn't understand what was happening to their men. They mourned the loss of their brothers, sons, and friends, but none could resist Adamma's allure. Among those who fell for her charms was a young man named Chukwudi. He was strong, brave, and admired by all for his wisdom and kindness. Chukwudi had heard the stories of the missing men, but like the others, he was drawn to Adamma. One evening, unable to resist any longer, he approached her. She welcomed him with open arms, her smile as sweet as honey. That night, as Chukwudi lay beside her, he noticed something strange. Adamma's skin felt cold, almost like the scales of a snake. A chill ran down his spine, but he dismissed it, thinking it was just his imagination. He closed his eyes, trying to shake off the uneasy feeling. But then, he heard a soft hissing sound, like the whisper of a snake in the darkness. Chukwudi's eyes flew open, and what he saw made his blood run cold. Adamma was no longer beside him. Instead, a large snake coiled next to him, its eyes glowing in the darkness. He tried to scream, but fear had taken hold of his voice. The snake began to move closer, its forked tongue flickering in and out. In that moment of terror, Chukwudi remembered a story his grandmother had told him as a child. It was about a snake spirit that could take the form of a beautiful woman. The only way to break free from her spell was to confront her with the truth of her identity. With every ounce of courage he had left, Chukwudi spoke, his voice trembling, "Adamma, I know what you are. You are not human. You are a snake, cursed to live among us." The snake paused, its eyes narrowing. For a moment, it seemed as if the air itself held its breath. Then, slowly, the snake began to change. The scales receded, and Adamma's human form returned. She looked at Chukwudi with a mixture of anger and sorrow. "You have seen through my disguise," she said, her voice soft but filled with a dangerous edge. Chukwudi sat up, his heart pounding. "Why are you doing this? Why are you harming the men of the village?" Tears welled up in Adamma's eyes. "I don't want to," she whispered. "But I am cursed. Every man who comes to me, I am forced to consume his life force. If I don't, I will die." Chukwudi felt a surge of pity for her, but he knew he had to stop her. "There must be a way to break the curse," he said. "Tell me, how can we free you from this?" Adamma hesitated. "There is a way," she admitted. "But it is dangerous. The curse can only be broken if a man willingly sacrifices his life for me. He must love me enough to give up his life, knowing that in doing so, he will set me free." Chukwudi was silent for a long time. He knew what he had to do. But before he could speak, Adamma shook her head. "No, Chukwudi," she said. "I will not let you do this. You have shown me kindness and understanding. I cannot ask you to give up your life for me." But Chukwudi had made up his mind. "If my life can bring peace to the village and free you from this curse, then I will do it," he said with determination. The next day, Chukwudi gathered the villagers and told them everything. There was shock, disbelief, and fear, but in the end, they trusted Chukwudi. That night, he returned to Adamma's hut. She was waiting for him, tears streaming down her face. "Thank you," she whispered. "But I cannot let you do this." Chukwudi smiled. "It is my choice," he said. "And I choose to save you." As he lay beside her, he felt the life draining from his body, but he did not resist. He closed his eyes, knowing that in his sacrifice, he was freeing the village and Adamma from the curse. When morning came, the villagers found Chukwudi's lifeless body beside Adamma, who was now fully human, her snake form gone forever. The villagers mourned Chukwudi's loss, but they also celebrated the end of the terror that had plagued them. Adamma, now free from the curse, vowed to honor Chukwudi's memory by dedicating her life to helping others. She became a healer, using her knowledge of herbs and remedies to care for the sick and wounded. The village thrived once more, and the story of Chukwudi's bravery and Adamma's transformation became a legend passed down through the generations. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the mysteries of Igbo land. The tale of the snake girl and the men of the village teaches us the power of love, sacrifice, and the courage to face the truth. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to subscribe and stay tuned for more enchanting tales from Ancestral. Until next time, may the wisdom of the ancestors guide you.